I hope you all have a memorable Memorial Day. I am here because I wear this pin. It's a gold star, which means that I am a member of Gold Star family. That of course means that someone close to me was killed in the war. I had a brother that was killed in the Vietnam War. I also had an uncle who, it was my mother's brother. He was missing in action and still is in the Korean War. So I've grown up with Memorial Day being a very solemn day for my family. We also have another Gold Star family in our midst. Melanie Stranix lost a brother early on in the war in Vietnam. So Melanie and Tom are members of the Gold Star family. I'll tell you a little bit about what happened with my brother. He was born in 1948, Ronald Charles Bakewell. In 1967, he was working down near Pittsburgh making bongs. And so we didn't think he would get drafted because he had a defense-related job. But in November of '67, he received a letter. He opened it up, and it was from the United States Army saying, you need to report, you've been drafted, you need to report for duty on January the 2nd. So we took him down to Pittsburgh, and he was sent to Fort Gordon, Georgia, where he took his basic training. From there, he was sent to Fort Polk, Louisiana, to a place called Tigerland. At that point, we had a pretty good idea where he would be headed. 1968 was a very, very difficult time for America in Vietnam. Now you saw in the Gulf Wars, we had a total of over 7,000 killed in Afghanistan and Iraq. In 1968, we had over 14,000 Americans killed in Vietnam. My brother got into Vietnam. In 3 days, he was in his first firefight. He was sent up north to a place called the Quang Tri Province. That was right next to North Vietnam. So a lot of the North Vietnamese troops that were coming down into the south came through Quang Tri Province. He was there for 42 days. On that 42nd day, in the morning, they found a relatively large North Vietnamese bunker complex. They got set up and pretty much did as much as they could to the North Vietnamese and that complex, and then got out of there before they ran out of ammo. They had to have enough ammo to cover their escape. So they did that, and they went to a hilltop so that if necessary they could get a helicopter in. And they set up a perimeter, and in the evening my brother ate his sea rations and went to set up a claymore mine which would defend the perimeter. And there was a sniper out in the jungle somewhere, and my brother passed away. 2 days later, my mother heard a car pull up to our home. She got out and got out of bed, and it was early in the morning, about 7:30, 8 o'clock. She got out of bed and she saw an army car, and she started to scream. She screamed, "Oh my God, Bill, Smoke's been killed." By the time I got dressed, my father was downstairs, and there was a sergeant there with a clipboard. And he was reading from the clipboard, and he said, "We regret to inform you that your son, PFC Ronald C. Bakewell, has been killed in action in the Republic of Vietnam." And that was on August the 4th. 2 weeks from the time, it took 2 weeks to process my brother and bring him home. So 2 weeks after he was killed, we had our memorial service at the local funeral home. On that following Sunday, 2 weeks from the time we got notice, he was buried. So Memorial Day has always been a solemn day for me. And as Pastor mentioned, you hear about, I turned the TV on this morning and I found out there was a Memorial Day auto sale, a Memorial Day furniture sale, a Memorial Day mattress sale, and I just thought, shouldn't we do better? And I just have a little quote from a soldier in Vietnam. If you give me a second here, it kind of sums up how America, I think, should handle Memorial Day. It says, if you are able, save for them a place inside of you, and save one backward glance when you are leaving for the places they can no longer go. Be not ashamed to say you love them. Take what they have left and what they have taught you with their dying, and keep it with your own. And in that time, when men decide and feel safe to call the war insane, take one moment to embrace those gentle heroes you left behind. It was a quote from a letter home by Major Michael David O'Donnell, who was killed in action on March 24th of 1970. He received the Distinguished Flying Cross, shot down and killed while attempting to rescue 8 fellow soldiers surrounded by attacking enemy forces. I think that's very appropriate for today. Also, if you give me a minute here, I would like to read a poem written by our musical director here. And Leslie was kind enough to send that to me. And I will read it for you. I certainly do appreciate her sending it to me. And it says, for those who fought in battle when you proudly went to war, who made the ultimate sacrifice, who couldn't finish their tour, we thank you with our heavy hearts and remember you today. The ones who gave their life for us, forever we will say, thank you for your service to keep us safe and free. Your heavenly home is your reward. That's how it had to be. And even though we miss you all, our hearts still swell with pride. Dedication, respect, and honor were the principles you kept inside. With heartfelt thanks, we remember you. For each of us, you died. Thank you, Leslie. We have one other thing that we're going to watch. It's a song by the Statler Brothers. It's called Just Another Name on the Wall. It was my mother's favorite song. I think it was probably every mother's favorite song if they lost the son in Vietnam. So thank you for your time. I hope that before you take that first bite of that good hot dog or hamburger or whatever, you'll just stop for a moment and thank all of those veterans who paid the ultimate price. And I hope you have a memorable Memorial Day. Thank you.